thing we want to do is to honor the light within us. Isabel's talk is about the light within us, and we always like to honor the light when we have our meetings on a Sunday. So if you have your candles, if you'd like to light them now, and if you just like to take a moment with your candle to just look at the flame, that flame, the symbol of the divine light, the symbol of the light that is within all of us. And if you can, and if you'd like to, if you just like to hold your candle up to the camera so that we can see the light and honor the light in each of us. And as we do that, I'd like to share some thoughts with you from a poem called Shine by R.H. Grenville, which I think is appropriate for our moment of light. Shine like a candle, shine like a star, shine in the place, in the space where you are. Show to the world a face that is bright. Where there is darkness, let there be light. If you'd like to place your candle down, and we just take for a moment the thought of being a light in the world, shining our light, the light that we bring to this celebration on a Sunday, the light that we take out into the world. What a blessing we are to each other and to ourselves as well.
Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel his mighty power and his grace. There's a holy hush around us. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel his mighty power and his grace. There's a holy hush around us. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place.
The daily word reading for today, Sunday, August the 15th. And the subject is joy. I say yes to the joy that invites me in this moment. Joy is the call of my heart. Whether I'm at work or at play, I bring a spirit of joyfulness to everything I do. More than a mood or an attitude, joy is part of me and mine, to live and to share. Like all aspects of my divine identity, joy flowers in my consciousness when I hold joyful thoughts and feelings. I express my joy as the excitement of anticipation, fascination at a new discovery, deep satisfaction in a relationship, and the tranquil glow from communing with God in prayer. My joy is contagious, and I love to share in it. I have feelings of joy when I take part in a friend's or family member's joyous moments, their celebrations, and their accomplishments. I feel quiet joy when I offer encouragement and even when I give comfort, grateful to share the care and love of God. And the Bible reading comes today from 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 16. Rejoice always. You would say the affirmation once more together. I say yes
to the joy,
to the joy that invites me
invites me
in this moment. We could say it perhaps once more. Say with I first, and then you, and then we. I say yes to the joy that invites me in this moment. You say yes to the joy that invites you in this moment. And we say yes to the joy that invites us in this moment. And if we can take these words into our hearts and into the silence and rest there for a few moments. I say yes to the joy that invites me in this moment. And once more together, I say yes
to the
to
joy
the joy
that
that
invites
invites me
in
in
this
this
moment.
moment. Thank you, Nancy
Thank you,
and
Patricia.
Isabel.
Okay. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Isabel. Isabel's going to give us a message and meditation so in tune with everything that we've been doing this afternoon, called The Light Within. Thank you, Isabel.
And I'd just like to say good afternoon and thank you for joining us and bringing your light and bringing our lights together as we are being raised, being sort of brought home in a way, getting to feel that inner light, that inner truth more and more. And so I'd like to share with you first a piece I wrote for the Unity website about my talk today. It is the basis of my talk. As I'm reading this, I invite you to notice the spaces, the gaps between the phrases or sentences as I'm reading. For the light within us is arising. We don't have to do anything except be open to it, make space for it, and relax our minds in quiet times of stillness. As we learn to do this, circumstances improve. We are calmer and we stop stressing ourselves about outer appearances that are not to our liking, or maybe not even our business. So I invite you just to read through that quietly to yourselves for a moment, absorbing the energy. The light is arising in us and in on this planet too. Some people may be thinking opposite of that, but there are spiritual teachers who've been pointing to this coming for a long time. One of them you may know of is Krishnamurti, whose book was The Awakening of Intelligence. So intelligence, this light is intelligence, which is rising in us. And many of you will know of Eckhart Tolle, and he talks about the flowering of human consciousness, a flowering of human consciousness. So much to be joyful about. Even though we're living through a pandemic and many, many challenges, they are part of the platform for this transformation, as outdated ways of thinking and doing are being, I suppose, destroyed in a way, but are being overcome by the light, is a better way of saying, are being changed for a better way of behaving with each other and towards ourselves. We see many developments through this pandemic as well. Zoom, for instance, we would not be here without this amazing technology, which keeps being updated as well and keeps us on our toes and keeps us stretching. So there's also many, many projects and activities going on that I'm sure you'll be aware of. Sharing food, community gardens, much more effort made to support the homeless and to understand people going through mental health challenges. So much light showing up in these ways. So as I said, the light is arising, but we don't have to make it happen. It's happening spontaneously through us and as us. When we relax, it comes. When we relax, it's here. When we relax, we start vibrating with it. AH. AH stands for Abraham Hicks. Abraham is an intelligence being channeled through Esther Hicks. I came across it many years ago when I was in Unity Village. And I know some of people in Unity, as well as myself, are interested in the teaching of Abraham Hicks, which is the same as Unity, just slightly different language. When we relax, it comes. What comes? The peace, the calm, the letting go, the feeling good. When we relax, it's here, and a different awareness, a deepening. When we relax, we start vibrating with it. What is vibrating? It's joining, aligning with, tuning. You could even say dancing with. It's coming into a resonance with the peace within us, the light within us. We don't need to strain, quite the opposite, because we are being lifted on a rising tide. The thinking mind tends to, well, mine does, flounder around trying to fix things and get places, get it done. We'll never get it done. We're on a long journey, a long evolutionary journey, which doesn't mean we're not already connected. It's about that becoming more visible, more powerful, more well expressed through us, each and every one of us. We don't need to figure it out too much. The egoic mind needs to settle down and find its natural place. So we're not getting rid of the ego. The ego is getting supported and comforted and strengthened and developed. It may not at first be easy to relax, especially sometimes physically, but the more we take moments to do it, the easier it becomes and how much more effective it can be, just a moment here and there. And it is becoming easier for us now because it's time, we're ready. The egg is ready to burst, as it were. We're ready, it's natural. We're like plants that have been germinating and developing, and now we're drawing to a time of flowering, the flowering of our consciousness, a remembering of who we are, a feeling of it, a knowing of it, not just a knowledge in the head, but an experience. We can't take a path, however, to where we already are. That's why we haven't got to try. That's why we have to relax and get quiet and go into the stillness. I'm sure, I know you all have moments of stillness, inner stillness, maybe in the morning when you awaken for a moment or two, maybe in front of a sunset or a sunrise, maybe listening to music, or absorbed in a hobby. It doesn't have to be spiritual in a religious sort of sense. It's all the time expressing in and through and as us. So I'd like to do a little exercise now, just a quick little exercise that if you would like to, you can use at any time, maybe catching yourself before you start getting wound up, which is quite a good idea too. So some of you have seen this before. We just take an index finger and we place it lightly, maybe on the forehead or the cheek, shoulder or the leg, wherever it's comfortable. And you just rest that fingertip very lightly, lightly as on an eyeball, really gently. And you take your attention into it. You focus attention on that fingertip. Maybe you feel the texture of the cloth or the warmth of your skin. Just giving attention. You might feel a little bit of a pulse in your fingertip. And then take another fingertip and just do the same somewhere else on your body, shoulder or leg. Just the same thing. Tuning into that fingertip. If you need to let go of the other one, that's fine. Just being comfortable, curious. Looking, focusing on that fingertip. And you may become aware of some calm or stillness, because your mind is quiet. I invite you now just to let your hands go and stay quiet for a moment with your eyes closed, maybe. And then open your eyes when you're ready. And take a moment just to pause and notice how you feel. Maybe a little calmer or more centered. As I've taken up these sort of practices, my tuning in has progressed. And I've begun to recognize at times that kind of image that I had as a child of space around me, a quiet, I didn't have an inner dialogue. I was just part of life. I just flowed with life. It's a quality of mind that we all had as children. May have forgotten, but we had quality of mind that was quiet, not commenting on everything and everything all the time. And as that mind, that quality of mind becomes available to us again, we become present. In a moment, I'll be practicing another little technique to help us experience more of this inner stillness, which is the key to our satisfaction, peace, and joy. Joy comes out of peace. So I've heard that peace and joy are sort of quite well linked. You've all got your own connection to your own light. We all have. Everyone has. Everything has the light within it. I think even science explains that too. And we all know about auras, even if we don't personally see them. And we've all seen pictures of angels and disciples or saints with halos around their heads. We are light. That's one of the reasons we don't need to be over concerned with other people's business, especially as we don't necessarily know what's best for other people or even ourselves. So take it easy. Take it easy. You can be fully satisfied where you are, understanding that you're eternally evolving. We can be fully satisfied where we are, understanding we're eternally evolving. I expect you feel satisfied maybe if you're doing some kind of hobby like knitting or embroidery, painting, because you're fully engaged in it, fully present. The more we turn within, in times of quietness and connect into it then as well, the more it strengthens and develops in us. And as I keep saying, it's the key to our peace and our satisfaction and our joy. When the mind goes looking outside, the thinking mind goes looking outside for its satisfaction, its fulfillment, it gets disappointed. It's the way of the world of form. It's the way of change, constant change. And when we begin to ground ourselves in our own inner peace and our own inner satisfaction, then we can be fully satisfied in the moment. So now I'm going to share another simple exercise. Thank you, Nancy. Another little exercise some of you know as well. It's about the inner body, and it's from Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now, which I'm sure some of you will know. I was given it in the Silent Unity prayer room about 15 years ago, and I didn't understand a word of it. But now I understand a lot more, but I'm still learning, still deepening. So it is that kind of a journey, although we're already there as well, which is a bit hard to say, but I hope you understand. And so there's a chapter in The Power of Now called The Inner Body. It's chapter 6, I think. Connecting with the inner body is part of this connection to finding our inner light, which is here, but it's feeling it, strengthening it, as I said, fostering it. That's the word, fostering I want to use, fostering our inner light with each other. That's why we're together now, fostering the light in each other. When we deepen into our inner body, we become aware of the feeling of the inner body. We discover a formless, limitless, unfathomable space. And so let's try that now. Just take a hand, hold it up easily and comfortably. You can rest it on your lap if it's easier for you. And just close your eyes and ask yourself, how do I know my hand is there? How do I know it's there without moving or opening your eyes? Again, you may find you can sense some warmth in your palm, tingling in your fingertips, maybe. Again, just curiously inquiring, letting it come to us, not straining. You may be able to sense some energy in your hand, the life energy, the energy that gives life to the outer body that we see. And then take your other hand, do the same thing with that one. Lower the first one if you need to. How do I know my hand is there? I can feel the touch of my thumb against the side of my hand. I can sense the space between my fingers. You may be feeling the warmth in your hand or even coolness. And then lower your hands if you need to your lap. And if you can, sense into both hands at the same time. And become aware of some space. Space inside. You can feel that space or sense that space, just look into it for a moment. And then take a breath in and out. And in a moment, open your eyes when you're ready. I have got one more exercise to do, which I'd like to share with you, which is about space. Maybe something none of you have done before, or you may have. Just take a moment to look into the space in your room. We overlook space. We're so preoccupied with thoughts and things. But everything arises out of space. The Bible tells us all things come out of the void, and so do other scriptures. And this void is here in a sense, this space is here. Look into the space, acknowledge the space. We don't know everything about it. And then take your attention to a smaller, more defined space. Maybe between the chairs of the legs of a chair, or between two chairs, or between leaves, or objects in the wall. Just see where your attention is drawn. And look into that space. Kind of curiously. What's in there? You may notice your mind has slowed down. And so again, you might like to just close your eyes and get centered in your body, aware of your whole body again. As we begin to draw my talk to a close. Now, they're very quick practices that take only a moment. And I've purposely done it this way because we can think meditation means we have to sit solidly for an hour even. 15 minutes is definitely always enough for the mind to calm down. But these, if you can intersperse this through the day, it's also even probably more productive. Sitting and contemplating pleasurable thoughts is the most productive thing you can do. So next time you're having a nice daydream, you know, if somebody comes along and interrupts you, no, it's productive. So thank you everyone so much for joining me today. Thank you for bringing your presence and your light as we grow together. Namaskar.
Thank you, Isabel, for that lovely talk. The words of wisdom and the ability to just take some time to be still. So we now come to the end of our service today. We have our prayer for protection and our peace song. The prayer for protection, we can say that today, as we always do, but we can say it with a sense of joy and a sense of light, because that is what we are, and that is what we've had this last hour. We say this from our divine identity, our I am, which is why we have the I am statements at the end. So if we could say this together, the words on the screen. The light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever we are, God is. I am divine. So we will finish with the peace song. Wherever you are, if you want to join in, please.